Hey guys, Huzzy bringing you another video and a welcome to a new ranked day. This is, I will say, a POV commentary, so you're getting the footage of me playing it live, the commentary after the fact. You'll see why, but I also wanted to really be like, this game is worth showing. So we're playing Seraphine, and if you're like, how's way playing Seraphine? I still think she's ridiculously OP. Like, if you get to late game, it's absolutely bonkers what she can do. But this rank session was yesterday, and this was the start to the role challenge that we occasionally do. So we recently got back to 700 Twitch subs, and for that was do a role challenge. So that's basically on one recording day. The goal is to try and upload, like make videos of all 5 roles, but obviously I'd also like to try and get a win in all 5 roles too. So I thought, let's warm up, play support, get kind of the juices flowing, as it were. And yeah, I still, do I think Seraphine is a, you could say, fair character? Probably not, but she's really strong, like incredibly strong. Now, the thing with this game, it doesn't go well early. And obviously that's why this is a POV commentary. Yeah, it's spoiler alert, the early game's pretty damn bad. The Rek'Sai on our team was, from memory, a pure Rek'Sai one-trick. And they just looked a little bit lost, and there could be a number of reasons for that. A lot of people may be used to, if they get ahead in the early game, they just kind of snowball, and that's how they play the champion. And if they don't get ahead, then they like, well, how do I adjust my play? And again, that's part of being a skillful league player, is whatever situation you're currently in, you need to adjust accordingly. And some people don't do that. And you might be like, really? Yeah, it's examples, not just one tricks or anything, but players as a whole. If you play as a very aggressive player and it works 55% of the time, you will most likely climb. If it works 55% of the time, if you get a win rate of 55% because you're playing aggressive, you're snowboarding, you're going legendary, but then in the other 45% doesn't work and you end up feeding your absolute mind out, well, you'll probably still climb overall. Yes, it probably is a bit mentally taxing. Of one game you're legendary and the next game you're 0 and 12. But that is how some people play. So this lane as well, incredibly strong duo, terrible lane. So Severe and Seraphine are, let's be honest, not known for their early game at all. Also, the meta in bot lane kind of, well, I don't know, it's fairly interesting. So like the meta in bot lane, from what I can tell, is one of two things. It's either long range poke, so that's what basically all 4 of us are in bot lane this game. It's a Seraphine with a Severe, there's quite a lot of long range poke, and it's a Jhin and a Lux long range poke. They have a lot more strength than us in the early game when it comes to scaling and how much they actually do. But fundamentally, if I land the double E, they're both double rooted, which is good. We do end up surviving that level 2. But you can kind of already notice that's what the enemy team is looking to do. They're already kind of going, ooh, could play aggressive. But then, yeah, the other kind of format of, I'd say, bot lane is high aggression. So, Draven, Rel, Pyke is played quite a bit. And again, I'm talking about solo queue. Pro play may be different. So, worth knowing about the enemy team. Unfortunately, there is a volley win on the enemy team. Still, again, that champion does irk me. And I know he does irk quite a lot of players. I just think he has been so ridiculously easily strong, and that's the thing that I think I struggle with sometimes. I'm okay with champions being strong, but I'm not okay when they just don't feel fair. And it's nothing to do with his absolute power level. There's OP characters, but if you feel that you've been outplayed by them, I can accept that. There's not a lot of outplay a Volibear's ever going to do, because there isn't much. He's a very one-directional, I'm just going to run forward at you and hope for the best and try to stat stick you. That is Volibear. So the fact that he's been so strong for a very long time now, it is a bit weird. So unfortunately, I do get caught out a little bit by the Lux damage. Unfortunately, they hit level 3 as we're at level 2. I must have lost a bit of XP somewhere, and I'm a bit tired here. So Rek'Sai's on the way, and I'm like, this I know is going to happen, and I was trying to help as much as I can. I kind of knew the risk that Jhin potentially was going to flash auto, but we did get 1 kill, but Jhin gets 2. So again, not worth it. Maybe we should have just completely backed on out of there, and then nobody got it. So this is where the stuff of the Rek'Sai starts to begin to be a bit weird. So Jhin has got barrier up. We've not pinged he's used barrier. The Rek'Sai in a 2v1 goes all in and just gets himself killed. No idea why he did that. And that's what I'm talking about earlier, is some people have that, like, I'm going to play aggressive no matter what play style. And that might be what you just saw is an example of that. That was just straight up a bad idea. But it's that I'm going to just play all in every time no matter what. So, not a good start to the bot lane. Lux does get... that was a really bad miss by me. Double, obviously, my E. If I got the root there, I'm not going to say she was dead, because, again, Severe's damage is very lackluster at this time of the game. But it would have been close. You know, the fact that I didn't actually get the proper CC there, just, I think, the initial slow. Yeah, that might have been a missed kill opportunity, and that's on me for sure. So it is good that Lux comes back into the lane and instantly is nearly dead. So that helps the lane pressure, you know, definitely. We're also going to get a plate, I believe. There's the plate. So, you know, that's not bad. Still obviously not worth Jhin having the double kill. But at least we have gained something. He also, because of the Rek'Sai's play, Jhin has got red. Good damage on the Lux. She's now nearly dead, so she might have to go back. And again, anytime that you're forcing a 2v1, that Jhin now is going to be alone in bot lane for a bit, in theory, it should give us a bit of freedom, or it gives us a bit of positive pressure. I really wish that she didn't do that, by the way. I was on my way, and if we timed our range together, that would have been a dead Lux. But she got a little bit impatient. I don't think Lux's base was going to go off at the right time. I think I could have got there, but it is what it is. So Jhin, obviously, you know, Collector is still incredibly strong, so I presume he's rushing Collector. Obviously, Severe, and that's one of the negatives of Severe, I'd say. Scaling, you know, so many late game champs, Jhin being one of them, they go Collector, really, really strong early game item. Well, Severe can't do that. So, like, that's kind of, I think, what's kind of hurt Severe in terms of her early game more. Like, her late game is incredible. Jin's late game is really good too, but it's Jhin gets to buy an early game item as a late game champion, so it kind of ramps his early game higher than it really should be. So my team does end up going for the Grubbies. I'd say not very well timed by the Rek'Sai though. So I'm obviously not there, but that wasn't even it. They time it with Hwei not being there at all. So arguably they should have waited until Hwei was there. We are looking to try and see if we can kill the Volibear. So Hwei's going to land the damage. Akali was very low. And we will, hopefully, I don't want to take it, as you can see, and we do get the kill on Hwei. On my way over to help potentially, and this was quite funny. I will say, like, this Akali wasn't the best. That was a really weird decision. But again, very Akali-like. Like, a lot of Akalis, again, similar to what we spoke about with Rek'Sai, just default aggression. Like, no massive thought going on. They just play, I'm going to play aggressive. And again, talking about no kind of thought aggression, once again, the Rek'Sai is doing their thing. So I'm on my way down. We could have waited. You know, it didn't have to be a hard force right now, but it is a hard force. And now Rek'Sai's dead again. Severe is also going to potentially die, and does. And I'm going to try my best to get the Lux, but with the W, she just heals. So once again, that didn't need to be an engage by the Rek'Sai, but it's just not thinking things through. And it's just the way of it, you know. This is obviously, you can see why I kind of stopped doing a live commentary, because it's just like when you have someone like this Rek'Sai, you're just like, well, they're just going to keep dying and dying and dying and dying because they're not really thinking. And it is worth knowing something like a Rek'Sai, and there's, you know, it's a group of champions. There's not much a Rek'Sai can do apart from all in. You know, it's like playing Rengar. If you play Rengar and you do bad, it is an awful feeling, by the way. So if you've never played an all-in type of champion, that is fundamentally useless unless you have, like, if you have to go in as a champion and you're doing bad, trust me when I say that is probably the most horrible experience to have in League of Legends, by far. Because if you're playing a ranged champion, you're having a bad game, well, guess what? You're ranged. You can kind of still do some things. If you're playing a melee champion, and again, Dragon is being done, playing a melee champion, unfortunately, also Volibear hit level 6 upon doing that. So he might try to go for the all-in. He does ult. And this, again, this Volibear had a tendency of just go for insane, like, engage ults all the time by himself later into the game. And obviously, yes, it is worth knowing. And even Twitch chat was like, he's doing that build. So that build, again, has been kind of the bane of a lot of League players' frustration about Volibear for a very long time. He's going the Rod of Ages, like, Navori Quick Blade or Flicker Blade build in jungle. So, like, that's not technically a jungle build. That's more of a top lane build. But he can get away with it. And some people might be like, oh, why does Volibear do that? So there's a couple reasons for it, and it's not even to do with Jack of all trades. The rune, Jack of all trades kind of started it. It made people go, oh, build as many stats as possible on a champion that kind of benefits from stats more than most, and you get benefit. Volibear doesn't even need the Jack of all trade rune to make it really, really crazy OP. It's just he's so fundamentally strong at building stats. You know, this is where people say he is fundamentally a stat-stick champion. If you're a champion that requires, you know, massive skill shots and stuff, yes, stats are good on every champion, but you can still miss, right? You may miss your spells. People can dodge them. They can outplay them. If a Volibear presses Q, flashes on top of you with timing the E at a very basic time, well, guess what? Like, you're dead. So I do hit level 6. I go for a play on the Lux. She just flashes immediately away. It was a 50-50 if I should have done that. Like, it was good to get the Lux flash, but Severe had no mana. So that was never going to transition into being a kill. Part of the ultimate was also a defense, because obviously I did get Lux Q'd, I think. So it was a bit like, oh, I'm going to go aggressive on you because you're trying to go aggressive on me. We do have Rek'Sai around again, but again, typically that has not been the best situation for any of us. And once again, going for a bit of a peculiar engage, doesn't use flash, unfortunately, and we both get killed. So I lined up behind the Rek'Sai, so that's partially my own fault, clearly. But the Rek'Sai had flash available and just didn't use it. So that whole play could have been different if the Rek'Sai just flash knocked up the Lux. We killed her instantly. I might not have died. Rek'Sai probably was dead to the Jhin, but that would have been a 1-for-1, but instead it was a 2-for-0. So it's just like, where's the flash, you know? So Volibear near mid lane. It's worth knowing, talking about comp for a second. So our actual comp is pretty decent. You've got Darius versus Garen in top. So typically how that lane goes, it's lane priority is Darius, but as the game goes on, Garen just outscales him. Again, there's a theme emerging, but a lot of stat-stick champions in League are very, very strong still. They were, and I would say it's the weird thing, they were stronger like 6 months or so ago. I'd say stat-stick champs were actually stronger. So Jhin was actually waiting in the bush there. I'd say that was a bit of an odd play. But here's the thing. We are so weak that I get the kill, but we nearly still lose that. And yes, I would have loved if my Severe got that kill and shut down, by the way. But one auto attack, 4th shot Jhin, she would have died. So we can't be too greedy about who gets it. I'm sure like she would have liked it, obviously. I would have liked her to have it. But if she didn't get it and she died, and then because I chose not to go for a kill, Jhin just could run away, well, that would have been an absolute nightmare. So that's in one of those situations, I'd say, especially lower ranking players, like historically, and it may have changed 10 years ago, the whole low rating was all about kill stealing. Oh my god, they're kill stealing me, kill stealing this, kill stealing that. You hear less about kill stealing nowadays. I think, one, because everybody in the game gets so much gold. Like, everybody's making a lot of gold. So, like, it's not too bad if you just get an assist, you then continue to farm, you get tower plates. Like, tower plates didn't exist a couple years ago, you know? Like, you get a lot of gold from different areas in the game now. So like, I don't think kill stealing, and it is also worth knowing, the player base as a whole, the older a game gets, even the lower rank you are, the quality goes up. Every ranking, the older a game is, the higher quality the game is as a whole. So they are going to go for the grub, so that will mean the enemy team is going to get the next 3 set of grubs, which is an epic monster, obviously, in terms of the feat of strength. But yeah, so even low rankings nowadays, I don't know if they'll be massively talking about kill stealing anymore, because I think people have kind of, they understand the game a little bit more. So that's good. The Volibear in mid lane, we are obviously hovering a bit around Dragon. Rek'Sai going above the Jhin. And I think, go for an ultimate. We do hit the Lux. Unfortunately, I think Rek'Sai, I don't know, maybe could have committed a bit more for the Lux, but it is what it is. Unfortunate that we don't get it, but it's fine. We do know Volibear was around this area, and this is the thing. Volibear's going for some bizarre engage. Like, this was a weird one. I don't really know what that was about. Weird flash as well. I guess just pure panic. So we do end up getting a cheeky Volibear kill, and that should now transition into a dragon for us. So that's good. Again, our actual comp is pretty good when it comes to Our damage is actually overall good. Later in the game, our survivability is good. Our team fight is good. Our wave clear is good. The one thing that our comp is not very good at is lane phase. And like, that's the kind of the argument when it comes to League. What should you play more for? If you play for lane phase, well, you'll get ahead. You'll probably get feat of strength, you know? But is that everything? People have kind of realized, by the way, and even I have, because I think I overrated it at the beginning of the season. Feat of strengths aren't that good. Like, they are not a game-winning, game-losing kind of mechanic. They help, you know? Every little helps, as they say. But if you don't get feat of strength, it does not mean the game is over. Like, by far. And I think people are starting to realize that. I think at the beginning of the season, the mentalities of people was going, oh, the enemy team got feat of strength, we lose. No. Like, genuinely no. Like, they're nice to have. They're a benefit to have. But they're not the end of the world. Late game will still beat, you know, early mid-game comps if they get to late game, even without feat of strength. So, yeah. So we are starting to get a bit stronger. Surrender Vote does come out, I'm guessing from the Hwei, who just died in mid. Do get ulted by the Lux, so she's obviously trying to wave clear as best she can. And a Jhin ultimate coming over the top to try and, you know, punish us as much as they possibly can. So you'll see when I'm playing Seraphine, by the way, you'll always kind of see me try to put myself, and I'm just muting, so we're getting a rage ping war between the Darius and the Hwei. I think it's because the, I get caught here from memory, yeah. The Jin's damage is so high at this stage of the game. I get caught, put my hands up, like, that was my bad. We do get a Hwei, that was a Lux flash instantly, and what's annoying is the Hwei threw his ultimate, and you have to remember the Hwei has just been rage pinging. Yeah, like, this is what you get for rage pinging. He's playing worse because he's raging. If he just was very calm, collected, you know, wasn't rage pinging, he probably wouldn't have thrown his ultimate out randomly straight away without hitting any CC. So it does show, like, rage pinging and stuff like that, it does affect how you play. You know, we all do it probably a little bit. You know, it is what it is. So the Severe, you can already see now, is pinging the Rek'Sai alive and the Jhin, because obviously, yeah, the Rek'Sai has made some key mistakes earlier into the game that also gave the Jhin quite a lot of strength. The Rek'Sai is recovering their game a little bit, so that's good, but look how far behind we are. Like, Darius, who's supposed to win lane, has kind of got owned in lane. Akali, admittingly, has gone top, and Volibear may have gone top there as well. But, yeah, this game's going pretty bad. 8 kills for us, 17 for the enemy team. Most objectives also for the enemy team. They're probably even doing, yep, there's Rift Herald kill. So most things in this game are very much going for the enemy team. So now, I was going to say, like, I don't really know why. So when it comes to lane swapping in solo queue, because obviously pro play has become very common, and, you know, when I ever used to watch pro play, I'll just say, like, it'd be interesting to know what you guys think about it, but I think we all share a pretty similar opinion about it. Lane swapping is really boring. Like, I remember when I actively watched pro play more, if a lane swap happened, like, you know, the enemy bot was going to go for the enemy top at the beginning of the game, I immediately just stopped watching. I'm not interested in watching that. Unfortunate just miss on the Akali there with my ulti. But yeah, I find the lane swap meta in pro play one of the most boring, if not the most boring meta practically ever. Volibear doing a ruddy job. You can obviously start to see some flowers are spawning. And yeah, the Volibear doing a little bit of dance. This Volibear was very cocky. He was a Volibear main. I think in the video, I did kind of mention, and I still stand by it. Like, I think in the last year or so, Volibear has been so obscenely overpowered, but also basic, that a lot of people have used Volibear to climb where they have no right being the rank that they are. And some people may disagree with that, and that's completely fine. But yeah, that's my opinion on it. Unfortunately, yeah, there's 4 people bot lane with Rift Herald, with obviously Akali still being bot lane. So that wasn't great. Rek'Sai obviously did get a little bit caught, didn't use their ultimate to potentially help them survive. Hwei once again wasting his ultimate, so that's not ideal. And he's now going to try and go for a flank, but this is a nightmare because the enemy team is snowballing. And now Hwei has kind of got themselves in a really weird position and is probably going to end up dying again. Can he get 1 kill? No, he can't. And also Garen just killed the Darius solo. More or less, I think there was part of that was under tier 2 towers. So at this rate, you know, let's be honest, we're all thinking, well, this is game over. But I will say, did I think we lost this game? I'll be open and honest. Yeah, I probably did. But I wasn't going to, I don't think, start a surrender vote. Because the one thing I do even remember when I was streaming this game yesterday, I did say, I was like, our late game is really good. You know, even it's not a guarantee you're going to win a late game if your late game is better than the enemy, right? Like, snowballing exists. The enemy team has got so much more gold, so much more strength. They have all the objectives. They're probably going to get the next dragons. They're probably going to get Atakan. So, like, that's a lot to kind of, you know, overcome. But if you give up, and that's the thing, some games are worth probably just FFing. You know, I'm not one of those people that's like never FF. I actually myself think that's a slight toxic mentality. And some people are like, what? There are games that are genuine losses. Like this game, you can kind of say, oh, we're doing bad, but yeah, your late game is better, so keep trying. Fair enough for that. You can understand people not trying to surrender this game. But if you're playing an early game comp that's been destroyed in the early game, you've lost everything, you've lost dragons, you've lost soul, and people then are still going, oh, never FF. Yeah, I don't agree with that. Like, that's going to just cause frustration with people. So we do end up getting the Lux. I get the kill, unfortunately. It's worth knowing, so I'll, like, away went Seraph's first item for some reason. So his damage is incredibly low. Our Severe still doesn't have damage in the game yet. So even though I'm going, like, shields Seraphine, which is what I believe you should 100% go if you're playing support Seraphine, it's just by far her strongest way to play. And he's, by the way, doing this. So I'm spamming, like, yo, he's doing Anakin. And Rek'Sai, by the way, zero paying attention, like, nothing. Presume they've just muted everybody. I put a pink ward down on it, so, like, we have permanent vision. Yep, Rek'Sai is just farming in top. So this is where, like, mentality-wise, at this rate, you know, I've not given up in this game completely. You know, our Severe just died as well. But I think the Rek'Sai probably has. I think a few of our teammates at this rate of the game have probably given up a bit. Which also, you know, hey, there's a reason I'm making this as a commentary, so keep on watching, I would say that. So there's no way I'm going to be obviously stealing this. I go for it. It was 700, I think, 81 health I saw there. And unfortunately for me, Mr. Stats McGee comes for a flash, which I would say is a questionable even play. And you were like, oh, you're dead. That's good for them. Yeah, but why? So that's a flash Volibear. Like, they probably think it doesn't matter. Like, there's another surrender vote. I do actually click yes, by the way, because at this rate, I think people have given up. Rek'Sai refused to come over to play, then was just standing still in her own jungle. So I do think my team has kind of given up, but well done to the two people that said no. You know, they did say no, but it's still going really bad. But yeah, bit of an odd one, but it is what it is. But we'll keep on playing. That's the one thing I will say, and Rek'Sai's dead again without using her ult. So the one thing I would say to everybody, and you know, I occasionally get it in the comment section, and every League YouTuber does. If you say yes to a surrender vote, everybody goes ham and you go, oh, you said yes to a surrender vote, blah, blah, blah. You can say yes to a surrender vote, but if the surrender vote is no, yeah, keep playing. Play the game. Like, I think that's one thing that people kind of don't understand. When a surrender isn't a surrender, double ultimate hit. When a surrender isn't a surrender, yeah, keep playing the game like you're going to try and play the game and try to win. Don't, you know, if the game is still online, play. So we do end up getting 1 for 1. So in that actual little play, that was a Garen dying for a Darius. And obviously their Garen is stronger than our Darius. I am unfortunately getting killed, I think, by the Akali. The literal last tick of Ignite kills me. That was unfortunate. And yeah, so it's still going bad. Hawaii just died again. Enemy team is now knocking onto our base. And now even an inhibitor. So at this rate, like, honestly, like, you know, I don't think anybody would be thinking like it would be a bad thing to be like, oh yeah, you've lost the game. But this is a little turnaround here. So Volibear, again, has definitely played this game quite cocky. Rek'Sai gets a double kill. Enemy team, you could say like they overextended. Finally uses their flash, so the F key does work. And they will, I think, end up killing this Lux. She does try to flash away, but I'm going to be real. Like, why would you? Like, Rek'Sai's got so much mobility, and they end up dead. So there's 3 kills for the Rek'Sai in one little play. Arguably, the enemy team really overstayed. They were on our base for forever, fighting a lot. They were still coming into our base, trying to get more kills. They didn't finish the inhibitor because they were just so wanting kills, and that's the big thing. Yes, kills help you win games, but objectives obviously are the thing that win you games. If they got the inhib there, even if they died, you could say, oh, they got the inhib, that's kind of worth. They didn't get the inhib. They broke open the base, so it's not bad. When you talk about worth, is it worth? I think practically they all died. I think that was basically an unofficial ace for us. For opening a base, no inhib. You could argue the worth of that. So Dragon is spawning within a minute. You can tell that by on the mini-map, which is obviously over there. The grey symbol means it's spawning in the next minute. Darius, unfortunately, is getting caught again. No vision at this rate of the game. We're going to try and get to top lane, but, you know, it's going to be hard for us getting there. Their damage is so high with Severe and Volibear. But I think we might continue going north, potentially. Lux, by the way, I think does actually steal that. This is one of the things I was talking about. This Volibear played really cocky. I do get a nice ultimate there on Seraphine. And this is the kind of starting the strength double hit with my E. This is the start of Seraphine and Severe getting really strong. And obviously Rek'Sai has some strength now. I get a double kill. I'm practically getting every kill. So, you know, that's not too bad. Unfortunately, I think we are going to lose the fight as a whole. And we are going to get ace. So again, you're like, oh, that's still bad. It is, but that's better than it has been recently. Like, we do end up killing a few of them. And it wasn't a perfect fight. I actually don't even know what happened to the Hawaii. So again, they're on our base. Our towers have taken damage. Obviously, it's worth knowing these base towers, they do regen at a very slow amount of health. And if they are destroyed, they do revive now to full health after 3 minutes. So again, the game is still not over. It kind of looks like it might be, but it's not. They do have now an inhib in bot lane. And I think Garen is about to get the inhib in mid. But yeah, you can kind of see Garen is just bullying the Darius. Darius does get his passive and ulti off, so Garen nearly dies. You could argue if Darius was level 16, the same level as Garen, that would have been a dead Garen. But yeah, he's obviously quite far behind. So Jhin gets caught out, which again, I would say that, and I get the kill. Again, obviously I'm not trying to time getting all these kills, by the way. It's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Gonna go for the Lux, and I do just ult it. Maybe Darius could have got it, but if she kept running north, I'm not 100% sure. And when you're this far behind in a game, get a kill if there's a kill, you know? Don't be that fussy. We end up killing 3 of them. So that's great. So 3-0. So that is obviously the start of a little bit of a return. Unfortunately, Volibear goes straight onto the dragon, and he ends up getting it. I'm going to just, you know, help the Severe be the safe. And Volibear did ultimate, by the way, across to our area of the map. So he is in here some way. Rek'Sai just found them. I make a positional mistake here. Akali obviously was just to our right, and lo and behold, there's the Akali. But it is worth knowing she does use quite a lot of stuff to kill me. So she's used her cloak. She's used, you know, a lot of damage. So I am dead, but she used quite a lot just for me. And now the fight gets to continue. Obviously, Volibear uses ultimate, he flashes away. Like, so the enemy team, they are starting to crumble a little bit. You know, yes, they're still gaining some things. That Volibear got the dragon there and stuff, so it's not bad for them. Kali is still way too over-aggressive here as well, by the way. Like, the enemy team, I'm not going to say they're panicking, but I think they expected to just walk over us and win, like, completely, as you would, right? They've been hard stomping this practical all game. You would just think, oh, we're just going to win the game. Like, easy peasy. But mistakes are creeping in. You know, that mid lane, Jhin got caught. Darius does make a little bit of an oof moment here, by the way, so he ends up going down. So there are still mistakes from our team. Again, fundamentally, there's a reason we all got massively behind in the early game. We didn't play well. Like, we got beat. Lux goes down. So again, any type of that moment that we get 1 kill, by the way, is huge. We are so far behind. Just delaying the game is what we need to do. So go for a big ulti. I managed to get a nice ulti on the Jhin, but then Mr. Garen is just going to come and spin on my face, and I literally just get killed for him spinning. So, you know, that's not the most fun, but, you know, it is what it is. Akali going for a very over-aggressive play. Rek'Sai going to try and do a bit of spring cleaning. And 1-for-1 in that type of situation is not too bad. Jhin, from memory here, goes for a flash play that he doesn't actually get the kill. There you go. So that's a big flash. And that's sometimes where you have to be like, is that worth it? Like, if Severe died there, would they have been able to end the game there and then? I'd say 50-50. Hawaii's still alive. He's got good wave clear. Darius was also spawning. So I don't think you would have been able to end. So now, with Severe not even dying, we're going to be all respawning in the next 30-odd seconds. We're back alive. And the big fundamental is Jhin is a major strength of theirs, and he doesn't have flash. So everybody probably, like, he's 16-3. Majority of their strength is on the Jhin. The Akali isn't that strong. Yes, you can kill a support Seraphine, but practically anybody can, if I'm out of position. Volibear is strong, but he does fall off in late game. Garen is obnoxiously strong, but he struggles when it comes to grouping. The enemy team does kill Baron, because, again, I think Rage is definitely happening here. That Severe, you can see, is spam pinging. and Hwei is just bot lane taking farm. He could have been mid. I would have given him farm in mid. But yeah, the Hwei definitely has been a bit ragey for sure this game, which doesn't help. But obviously, we're in, you know, you could say the more or less final few minutes likely of this game. They've got Baron, they've got 2 inhibitors. So the likely thing that they're going to do, pretty simple, is you've got 2 inhibitors, you've got Baron. Well, where's the place you need to go? Top lane. Use the super minions in mid and bot lane to have the pressure positive to go towards the enemy base. And use the Baroned up minions in the last lane that you need actively to kill. So it's very League 101. Like the fact that Akali is bot lane right now is awful. That, by the way, it was Hwei ult. Just to point it out there, that's how ragey this Hwei was. He was sharing farm again with a Severe, and he just ult raid. So Jhin, once again, we know he doesn't have flash. Darius goes for an engage. I throw my ulti, which you could argue maybe we've used too many ultis, but a kill's a kill. He's very fed, so honestly, just getting that kill I think is good. Garen is going to go for a big all-in, gets denied by the Fear. They also catch the Volibear, and I believe they're catching the Akali. So the enemy team fundamentally is just playing bad. They've got two inhibitors. They had mid, they had bot. Bot's now respawned, but the Garen and the Lux were playing correctly. They've got Baron. They have positive pressure in mid and bot with super minions. Yeah, just go top. Like, as a team, as 5-man, go top. So we end up getting a bit of damage on the Garen. Garen throws flash and he's going to go for the kill. Rek'Sai does get ignited and we do manage to kill him. So fundamentally, the enemy team is actually playing really bad. If they just grouped, and again, I don't know what's happened to Modern League, but people are allergic to grouping. It's really weird. Like, the vast majority of metas in League of Legends have been group-centric. It still is strong, yet people are so weirdly, like, allergic to doing it. It's very odd. So if the enemy team there just grouped top with Baron, I honestly think right now, I think the game probably would be over. Like, I think right now, before we've just gained, like, you know, 4 kills on them, I think the enemy team would have had enough strength that they could have walked over us. Volibear ulted the tower, killed the tower really quick, and just killed us. But they didn't. So now Dragon is spawning. Obviously, we would like to deny the Dragon. Volibear going for a kind of, again, full out engage, get a big ultimate. So again, just remind how Seraphine works. Once again, Jhin, no flash, land a double E on the Volibear, which is very big because that's going to hit him. Yeah, this Volibear went for really bizarre engages the whole game, and obviously, you know, it just shows how important an immobile AD carry like Jhin, he used his flash, didn't get the kill on Severe. That's why I made that point so clear. Is he's now died in 2 fights in a row without getting 1 kill, and he's the ultimate carry on the enemy team. Like, that's really bad. So Hwei was just split pushing top lane in that time, by the way, which is a bit weird, but obviously he has been raging this game, and we end up getting the Dragon. So deny the Dragon Soul. I think they have 3, and we're at the stage now that we're looking pretty good. You know, momentum. We've always spoken about momentum in League of Legends. You can be 5,000 gold behind, but if your team has the momentum and, you know, you're having, you know, making good decisions, making good plays, and you're just constantly making the right decision in late game, gold sometimes can be irrelevant. It's that snowball effect of, oh, just keep going. Oh my god, this is going well. Oh my god, the enemy team's made another mistake. And that a little bit is probably what's happened so far here. We are likely still behind on gold right now. I'd imagine by a few thousand. We're still behind on XP, you know, quite a lot. Garen does weirdly come for us here. I get an ultimate off. The charm goes off, and I think, yeah, 3 kill. Like, what's the enemy team doing? Again, the Volibear has played a bit cocky. The Garen obviously doesn't. Again, yeah, I think that is a signature of people that play stats champions. But yeah, they can't just fundamentally walk into us in mid to late game. They are still ahead, but the later the game goes on, the more items we have too, and you are killable, especially if you're alone. So very peculiar. Enemy team were trying to split a little bit, but again, our strength is grouping. And here over the wall, I land again a double E on the Volibear, trying to help my team over the wall. I could have flashed over, but there's no real point. Akali goes down. Jhin does use his barrier there. Severe late game has now got good, you know, momentum with their ultimate running fast and all that. And ladies and gentlemen, that was a really good fight. So not bad. So, you know, part of this, I will say, is the strength of a late game comp. Another part, I would say, like, I did kind of say earlier, I think some people gave up, some people didn't, but like, you know, I pressed yes to a surrender vote, so I'll put my hands up. If one more person said yes, well, we lost the game. And again, I don't mind that, and some people were like, one loss in the grand scheme of things is very unlikely. Like, this was an amazing comeback, but with a very low percentage it was going to happen. Like, the Hwei was raging throughout this whole game, throwing ultimate randomly, not using it, like split pushing top lane. Like, the chance of winning this is very low. Like, this is kind of the argument when it comes to the never surrender people, is there are games like this that you can manage to turn and hey, you got a win. But the percentage of doing it is so ridiculously low. Is it worth the time? Because on average, these games, you're probably going to lose still 90% of them, and you may be able to turn around maybe 10% of them. Maybe. Is that worth committing? Because if you go, no, I'm never surrendering, and you still lose the game, well, then it's just frustrating. It's more frustrating because you've kept yourself in the game longer. But overall, there is the game. So damage on our team pretty equal between our top jungle and mid. Severe, obviously, in late game does manage to kind of take over. But yeah, it does show mistakes can creep in. I think the enemy team, where they went wrong, they got cocky. I think they felt they won the game, so they didn't have to play perfectly. They didn't have to play correctly. And you saw that by, oh, they have Baron, they have 2 inhibs, and only 2 of them went top. The Garen and the Lux did the correct thing, but they should have all been there. With that momentum, with the pressure of super minions, they would have got the third inhib open, and it would have been really hard to defend that. But because they were split, it actually enabled us to take good fights. So very weird. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. So again, just to kind of say, this was part of the role challenge. So this was support technically done. And I will say, already a little bit of a spoiler, we were successful in getting all 5 roles as videos. Whether we win them or not, I'm not going to spoil that, but that is going to be the next few days content. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, do throw a like on it, throw a comment, throw a subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Welcome to the Rift, where the legends play. It's HuzzyGames bringing skill every day. From tips to tricks and play so fine, you'll learn the game and have a good time. Thanks for watching, you're the real MVP. Hit that like and sub, join the family tree. Like, comment, and subscribe. Keep the Huzzy dream alive.